Number 5. Me and my best friend visited London last year. Using a map of the city, we got from the hotel where we were, finding our way to various touristy attractions, either by walking or taking the tube. It was getting dark, and we wanted to see Trafalgar Square. We looked at the map, and saw it was only a few blocks away, so we decided to walk. So we walked through the crowded London street, trying not to get separated in the sea of Londoners and other tourists. After a particularly large group of people walked by us, I felt someone behind me. Through my peripheral vision, I saw a person behind us, walking directly between me and my friend keeping pace with us. I couldn't tell who it was, but all I knew was they were tall. Now, there were dozens of people walking around us in the same direction we were, but what was off about this person was how close they were to us. To an onlooker, it would look like the three of us were walking together. We stop at a crosswalk, waiting for the light to change. The stranger stands behind us, much too close. Me and my friend are looking straight forward. I could tell by her posture that she also noticed this person behind us. The light changes, and we both cross the street walking as fast as we can, trying to put some distance between us and this stranger. I turn my head, pretending to look at the cars, so I can catch a glimpse of this person. It was a very tall woman in a long black jacket. This is perhaps naive of me, but the fact that it was a woman made me feel a little bit more at ease. That, and when we reached the other side of the street, she was a fair distance behind us. I thought with relief that I was just being paranoid and she wasn't following us. As soon as this thought entered my head, I felt her behind us again. We walked in utter silence the rest of the way, and I was panicking. I'm still a rigid mess when we reach Trafalgar Square. Then the woman behind us finally speaks, startling me and my friend, and says, "Thank you for letting me walk with you girls." She smiles kindly and walks away. My friend and I stare at each other completely dumbfounded. In case this wasn't common sense, if you decide to walk with people you don't know for safety, freaking tell them. Number 4. I went to the mall with my significant other one spring evening. It was a crappy mall that hadn't been updated since probably 1992, in an area that's seen a slow decline. It was an indoor mall, but had several stores with outward-facing entrances as well, so sort of a mix between a strip mall and an indoor mall. My significant other just needed to run in to return a pair of pants, so since it was a nice day, I elected to stay in the car and enjoy the evening breeze with the windows down. He said it would be 10 minutes and ran inside. As a woman, I always try to stay aware of my surroundings. Even while relaxing in the car, I occasionally scan the area around me. While I waited, I was browsing the internet on my phone and just killing time. I was people watching a little bit too. So, I did see this older, sloppily dressed man just kinda standing at the corner of the mall, not near any store entrances. I would glance at him every few minutes and then return to browsing on my phone. The sun was just lowering in the sky, but it was still pretty light out. I had all of the windows down, enjoying the breeze, and the SUV was parked in the first spot in the parking lot, with a long row of cars along after. It was like a Walmart or Target parking lot. Anyway, there I stay, waiting, when suddenly, the guy hanging by the corner of the mall starts in a full sprint towards me. My adrenaline kicked in immediately. I pushed the buttons to roll up the window and put my phone under my thigh and just stared at him. It was totally a test of who would win, the window or him. Just as he got 5 feet of the truck, the windows were up. He just kind of stopped, looked at me, and walked past into the lot. It took my body a full 10 minutes to calm down. I'm pretty sure he planned to snatch my iPhone, since I was sort of looking at it obviously, and had just gotten the iPhone 6, which was new at the time. Number 3. So, this happened last night. My roommate came home at an awful good hour of the morning, with 3 guys that I'm pretty sure he barely knew. They were being loud and obnoxious, as college guys usually are. Just a side note, I'm a 19-year-old female who lived in a 4-bedroom apartment with 4 guys, and my boyfriend being one of them. The noise dissipated as I went upstairs into my roommate's room, and I finally managed to get to sleep. My boyfriend and I both sleep only in our underwear, because it's more comfortable. At 3 AM, I was woken up by the intense feeling of someone staring at me. I look up at the door, and there's this really large man. He was like 6'3", at least, and muscular, staring right at me. With my blanket wrapped around my waist, and with the light that was coming in through the hallway, I knew what he was looking at. I promptly pulled up my blanket and sat up. I looked at him and asked, "Can I help you?" He responded with a smile that made me so uneasy, and said in a really over-delighted tone, "Sorry, just looking, my bad," and left. My boyfriend woke up as a man slammed the door and asked me what happened. He's a pretty deep sleeper, so that wasn't a surprise to me. I explained what had happened to him, and we decided to lock our door. Now, this would seem like a pretty simple solution, and the end to my problems. And that's where you're wrong. At around 3:10, the noise picked back up again. They had moved into the living room. I started getting really panicky, as I heard someone move to the bathroom, which is right across from our room. I decided I was being silly, and tried to get back to sleep, when the noise suddenly died after only 15 minutes. As I was finally drifting off, I heard the doorknob start to jiggle. I brushed it off and tried to get back to sleep, until it violently started twisting and there was a pushing on the door. I honestly thought at one point in time it was going to break. About 5 minutes later, when he realised it wasn't going to give, he went away. I figured that was the end of it, and went to sleep. When I woke up, the door was still locked, so I figured I was good, and went into the bathroom to get ready for the day. I wasn't ready for what I saw in there. On the sink were my clothes that had been in my closet, and my lingerie. They were set out like someone was going to wear them. On the bathroom mirror, written in my lipstick was, "I bet you'd look so sexy wearing these for me." I was freaking out. The door was locked, and this man somehow managed to find the one little bar key thing in the house, just in case someone gets locked out of one of our rooms to get in. Not only that, but he was in my room next to my bed, doing God knows what, and went into my closet and took out my clothes. How did he know which were mine in the dark? He obviously wasn't drunk like the other guys were. Why was he pretending to be? I don't want to know the answers. I just hope I don't see him again. I feel so violated. Number 2. I was 12 or so, maybe younger, when my mum and I went to Rite Aid together. I was young enough to want to go to the toy aisle and just browse. So I strolled down there while my mum is still looking for a few groceries. As I'm looking, a man comes into the aisle with me. I'm fucking oblivious. My mum eventually notices and takes me immediately to the next store over, ignoring whatever she was going to buy at the Rite Aid. While in the other store, I am a little freaked out by the appearance of the guy. He was tall and clearly older than 60, more heavier set with a greasy beard. Well, lo and behold, as we're walking down each aisle, I notice him enter. I tell my mum, and we try to ignore him momentarily. After a few minutes of nothing, we're standing between aisles checking our list, and I turn behind me to see him fucking centimetres from me. I honestly don't think there was a full inch between us. I turn around, utterly terrified, and my mum walks in between me and the man and just stares him down. For those of you who don't know, my mum is the queen of death glares. We watch as he walks away, pays for his items, and leaves the store. We didn't see him again, thankfully. So, creepy pervert in the toy aisle? Let's not meet. Number 1. When I was 10, my sister and I had to get a ride from our neighbours every day. This meant we had to get up quite early to ensure that we wouldn't make their daughter late to school as well. One morning, my mum came in extra early and a bit panicked. I woke up in a daze and my sister rolled over, no doubt upset about the rude and early awakening. My mum started pulling out clothes for me and my sister and ushering us to get dressed. At this point, I was awake enough to ask what in the world was going on. My mum said the old man across the street had seen a man hanging out by our window. We went to school early to get away from the man and just forgot about it. Later that month, our neighbour approached us, saying the man had been at the window every morning. My mum got very upset, not understanding what was said. Why would a man be at the window of an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old? There really isn't much to see. The police were called and shown hours of footage of the man from the past month. They arranged a stakeout, which was freaky enough within itself. Every day, we were greeted with bad news. He definitely suspected something and hadn't been so daring. You could tell the police were concerned since we walked home every day after school, and they seemed like they were getting ready to approach us for God knows what. They had to formulate a new plan. They helped us break a blind off and turn on low light to draw him in. Next, we were to sleep in our mother's room and wait to see if the plan would work. It was a long night and we hardly slept. The next morning came slowly, and it seemed to take days before the police knocked to give us the news. The man had been caught, but that wasn't all. He was a principal for a middle school near us, and we knew his children, who also went to our school. He had been charged with disorderly conduct. He had defeated in our yard, which was enough to slam him in with a really low fine. He called his wife and denied it, saying he was watching our mother, but it didn't matter either way. The divorce went through quickly, and soon enough, it was over as suddenly as it began. The last person to find out about this was my father, who called asking if we heard about the incident on our street, and as soon as he found out it was us, he came over and built a very tall fence that was impossible to scale. In the description there's a news article detailing the arrest. Well, anyway guys, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed, then please leave a like, share and subscribe if you haven't already. If you have any true scary stories of your own which you would like to have shared, then please make sure to contact me and you may be featured in a future video. Also, make sure you check the description for the news article of the last story. Well, anyway, I hope to see you soon, and I'll speak to you later.